You ever wonder how a massive company with tens of thousands of people actually manages to get anything done? I mean, how does a huge, ambitious vision from the top actually turn into what someone does at their desk on a Tuesday morning? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain. We're breaking down the exact framework that connects a company's biggest dreams to the smallest daily tasks. It's pretty much the secret sauce for turning a vision into reality.
So here's our roadmap. We're going to start with that big, high-level idea and drill all the way down layer by layer until we get to the nitty-gritty actions. And by the end, you'll see exactly how every single piece of the puzzle fits together perfectly.
All right, first things first. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with a plan. Now, I know that sounds almost too simple, right? But honestly, this is the absolute bedrock of any successful company, big or small. It's all about figuring out where you are right now, deciding where you really want to go, and then building the bridge to get you there. And this quote it nails it. Dreams can be turned into reality only if business managers think in advance. It really gets to the core of it, doesn't it? A dream without a plan is, well, it's just a wish. The real magic happens when you do the thinking beforehand, that careful preparation that turns a cool idea into a real achievement. Okay, so theory is great, but how does this actually work in the real world? Let's take a look at an absolute giant, the Indian Oil Company, IOCL. So they've got this huge vision, right? To expand their business across the globe. But here's the billion-dollar question. How do you get more than 34,000 employees all marching to the exact same beat? And believe me, the stakes are massive. We're talking about an investment of 75,000 crore rupees. To put that in perspective, that's over $9 billion in just 5 years. When you're playing with that kind of money, every single decision has to count. You can't just wing it. You need a plan that is absolutely airtight. So here's the secret. It's not about having one single giant plan. It's actually a whole series of plans that are all interconnected, and they flow from the top down. The best way to picture this is like a funnel, you know? At the very top, it's wide open. That's your broad vision. And as you move down the funnel, things get more and more specific until, bam, it becomes a clear action for one person to do. So let's start at the very top of that funnel, the widest part. This is where we find our objectives. It's pretty logical, right? Before you can plan any journey, you have to know your destination. An objective is exactly that. It's the finish line. It's the X on the treasure map. So, the official definition is that an objective is the desired future position the company wants to reach. It's the end result you're aiming for after all the work is done. It basically just answers one simple question. What exactly are we trying to accomplish here? And here's the crucial part. Notice how these aren't just vague hopes. A good objective is super specific and you can measure it. It's not just, let's increase sales. No, it's let's increase sales by 10%. That kind of clarity is absolutely essential because it gives everyone in the company a clear, shared target to shoot for. Okay, so we've got our destination locked in. That's our objective. The next layer down in the funnel is the strategy. If the objective is the what we want to achieve, the strategy is the high-level how we're going to do it. It's the overall game plan. A strategy is basically a master plan for how you're going to use everything you've got, your people, your money, your time, to hit those objectives. And it's smart too, because it's not just about what you decide to do, it's also about what you decide not to do. It forces you to look at the world around you, see what competitors are up to, and make some tough choices. To make this really concrete, think about a marketing strategy. It has to answer these really basic but critical questions. A good strategy gives you clear answers to all of them, and those answers come together to form a solid plan that points all your marketing efforts directly at that objective, like, say, that 10% sales increase. All right, so we have our destination and we have our game plan. The next layer down is policy. The best way to think about policies is like the general rules of the road. They don't tell you exactly which street to turn on, but they set the boundaries, like the speed limit, to keep you heading safely in the right direction. So policies are these general statements that help guide how people think. They're designed to channel everyone's energy in a way that supports the main strategy. They create a framework so that when managers have to make decisions every day, those decisions are consistent with the bigger picture. Here's a fantastic real-world example. This company, Mitacool, makes these really cool clay products, and they have a very clear policy. Keep prices low enough so that they're affordable for the poor. Now, that doesn't tell them the exact price of every single item, but it's the North Star that guides every single pricing decision they make. It ensures they stay true to their core mission. And that brings us to the narrowest, most specific part of our funnel, the procedure. This is it.
This is the point where all those big, grand ideas finally become concrete, step-by-step, repeatable actions. This is the detailed instruction manual.
Now, this is a really important distinction because people mix these two up all the time. A policy is a guide for thinking. It's a framework, but it allows a manager to use their judgment. A procedure, on the other hand, is a set of routine steps for action. It's rigid, it's a checklist. There's no room for your own interpretation. So think of it this way. A policy answers, what's our stance on this, while a procedure answers, how exactly do we do this?
I mean, just look at this example for ordering supplies. It is a perfect procedure. It's a clear, chronological sequence of steps. You have to do step 1, then you do step 2, then step 3. You can't skip ahead. It's rigid, it's crystal clear, and it makes sure that this task is done correctly and exactly the same way every single time.
Okay, so let's zoom back out for a second and see how all of these pieces, all these layers, actually snap together. This is where you really see the power of this planning funnel.
And here it is, the whole chain of command in one simple flow. Your objective is the destination. Your strategy is the roadmap to get there. Your policies are the guardrails that keep you on that road. And your procedures are the specific turn-by-turn directions. See how each layer flows logically from the one above it? It's a perfect cascade.
And honestly, this is the most important thing to take away from all of this. When an employee follows a simple procedure, like filling out a supply form, they're not just doing some mindless task. That single action is the very final result of the entire plan. It is the last link in a chain that connects all the way back up to the company's biggest, most important objective. That is how grand plans become reality.
And you know what? This framework isn't just for billion-dollar companies. It works for anything. Your personal goals, a team project, literally anything you want to achieve. Every great accomplishment is built on these same layers. So, I guess that just leaves one question for you. What's the grand plan for your goals?